Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I hope you all are having a great week so far. It's Christmas week. How's the chat doing? Miss Razatire, greetings from our Christmas hideaway in upstate New York. I wish I had a Christmas hideaway. Another average typical day of the news cycle. We'll go through some economy stuff, some Epstein shenanigans. I know everybody will love that. Some Truth Social posts, a bunch of random stories. Again, not all that much that excites me, but we'll still talk about it. Elf Boy says, so far, so good, not upset. Maybe I'll get you upset by the time the show's over. I'll see what I can do. Quick couple housekeeping items. We did release last night on Basis Conspiracies the location and date of our upcoming conference. You know what? I could probably share that on the screen here. Yeah, there we go. We finally booked our spring GART. Nashville, Tennessee in April 9th through the 12th. It's going to be a great time. I encourage you guys to come. Nashville is pretty cool. And then we also have our summer one booked, June in Deadwood. We have our fall one booked in Vegas in September. And we still got to figure out our winter one, but we'll get that updated later. But if you want a full slate of the dates, it's on our website, badlandsmedia.tv/events. Yeah, guys, you voted for Nashville in a real election, a non-fraudulent Twitter poll. You guys voted for it. So now you all have to come. So it should be a good time. I think I'll just get to the sponsors and then start plugging away. And if you guys got anything good for me, as usual, I'll try to pay attention to the chat. But first up, we got some Rise Attire. So speaking of Rise Attire being in the chat from their hideaway in New York, here is their Christmas ad.
Cheers, Badlanders. Ready to stuff your stockings with some new streetwear that'll really get the jimmies rustling? The holidays are here, and so is the new Rise Badlands collection, just in time to go walking in a winter wonderland. No matter where you're from, we're all Badlands natives with these brand new threads. Show up with the purtiest ugly sweater at the party with the Badlands Christmas collection, or make your favorite Badlander buddy feel all warm and fuzzy with a variety of plush and Sherpa blankets to choose from. Plus, you can stack the classics under the tree, deck the halls with Devolution, rock around the Christmas tree with Rushmore, or have yourself a merry little clown world. Everything we do is custom made from scratch by the elves at our East Peoria, Illinois facility, who are all legal U.S. citizens. But the process takes time, so don't wait. Grab your gear today at badlandsmedia.tv/rise. Under the tree and over the target.
Yeah, guys, be sure to support our sponsors and you can get some awesome gear in the process. And don't forget our own website, badlandsmedia.tv/shop, where you can get all sorts of goodies, not just apparel, but all sorts of goodies. But you can also get your co-founder shirt there. So I'd encourage you guys to check that out, or badlandsmedia.tv/co-founder. There's the Bitcoin price. Let me share my screen here. There we go. Okay, Bitcoin price at 87,367. I think it was up to like 89 yesterday. It's come back down a little bit. Another buying opportunity. I encourage you to get some. Badlandsmedia.tv/river. Silver right now keeps going up. I think it was up to 72 earlier. Whoops, don't do that. Almost refreshed my StreamYard. Yeah, it was definitely above 71. It's got to be record highs here. 70.97 right now. I think we're in a short squeeze period, obviously. Maybe short squeeze, that's not the right word. It's been artificially suppressed, as we've been saying on this channel for a long time. Gold is at a record high as well. It's not too late. I think it's only going to keep going up. Non-financial advice. Badlandsgold.com. Get yourself some physical gold and silver. Doge, there is no update on the Doge website, but grifter's going to grift, right? Gunther Eagleman, a win. Doge just hit $214 billion in taxpayer savings in only 11 months. fake news. Didn't just hit that. It's been that way since October 4th. But we'll watch this clip anyway.
Amazing leap forward for us, just like software was 50 years ago. And of course, we continue to see savings across how much we're spending on the government side. Jobs are being created in the private sector, not in the government sector. And then inflation is under control, and inflation particularly in red states where we've got low energy prices. And so again, I think the tale of two policy paths are going to be that all of the capital, record amounts of capital spending going on in this country, it's going to flow towards those places. That's amazing.
So I did go through actually and calculated it out. I went through a couple of my old shows, and these are the updates. February's 55 billion, and they were doing like every couple of weeks with updates. And then we got to 190 billion by June 29th. So that's like roughly 160 days. The first 160 days, it had saved 190 billion. In the 180 days since, we have gotten 24 billion. That's it. So again, I'm not trying to knock savings. Any savings is good. Any fray, wah, and abu that we can cut out is great. But the pace of this is definitely significantly slowed down, and they don't even bother with the website anymore. They post stuff on their social media occasionally, but I just wanted to point this out. It's on my Twitter. If you guys want to see the breakdown, you can plug these into an Excel and maybe make some pivot charts and stuff. Put a presentation to your family and friends on why Doge is not what we thought it was. Some Epstein stuff that we'll talk about. I mean, we should do it off the bat. I'll save it. Where do I have that in here? I guess it's not too far away. Yeah, again, no update on the Doge website. The U.S. economy, though, it did grow by 4.3% in the third quarter, which is much more than expected, the delayed report shows. U.S. GDP, the sum of all goods and services produced in the sprawling U.S. economy, expanded by 4.3% in the July-September period. The one thing I don't like about this is this includes government spending. GDP includes government spending, and I think that's dumb. Because if we're going to cut out waste, fraud, and abuse, it should lower our government spending, right? Even though it hasn't yet, it's gone up. We spent more this year than any point in history, $7.2 trillion. Insane. But if we can cut that down, you would expect our GDP to go down with it. So I'm not entirely sold on the GDP and the stuff expanding being a true metric on whether or not our country is healthy. I mean, we have what, $40 trillion in debt nearly. How can a country be healthy with that much debt? It's not. But we'll read it. It's a story anyway. Consumer spending expanded by 3.5% in the third quarter after rising 2.5% in the second quarter. Increase in exports and government spending also boosted growth. Isn't that fun? While a smaller dip in private fixed investment helped as well. And so keep in mind, we had the GDP go up a little bit, growth, and our inflation, the expected rate of inflation increasing wasn't as high as everybody thought, a little lower than expected. So high growth, lower inflation. Should start seeing some returns ourselves, I'd hope, in the coming year. Shai Reeve, GDP should never include government spending. That's why a bolt can cost $500 or more. Yeah, it's also dumb. It definitely the way they do all these numbers is they do it to get the narrative that they want, right? And Trump does it too. Everything we're seeing from both sides is narrative warfare. And I told you guys I've been going through this. Let me find where it's at. This thing. It's an irregular warfare psychological operations tactics guide from December of 2003. I've been reading through this page by page, and it's blowing my mind just how they do everything that they do and why they do it in terms of psychological warfare. And again, this is 2003. This is really before social media and all that stuff. But the principles of this, it just makes it so much more obvious that everything we're seeing online is a psyop. That's why I think I'm going to do an article on this at some point if I can find the time. No promises, but yeah, GDP, all that stuff. It's a psyop too. But John, how is that Doge crypto shitcoin doing? I have a friend that bought that rug. You know what? Actually, at one point I bought Doge as well. Back before I even got into any of this stuff, I was still fundraising. Put like $250 or $500 or something into Doge, and it was super cheap then, and it went up to $0.25, and I sold it all. So that was before G Money had schooled me on shitcoins. Beatrice Dick, agree, John, but the definitions of basic economic statistics should remain constant so you can compare periods over time. That's the thing. I'm pretty sure they change how they calculate GDP as they go. Let me look this up. Has the definition of US GDP, maybe I should say calculation instead of definition. Changed. Let's look this up. I'm almost positive they've changed it. Yeah, the calculation of GDP has evolved significantly since its initial development in the 1930s, with updates in methodologies, data sources, and components. Basic formula is consumption plus investment plus government spending, net exports plus net exports. It's remained constant since formulation. The structure, blah, blah. Key shifts including adopting chain weighting to address biases and fixed weight real GDP calculations. I don't even know what they're trying to say here. But I remember there was a story, wasn't there, under the Biden administration where they cut out a specific metric just because it wouldn't have looked so bad, or would have looked worse if they included it. It's a CPI calculation for most of the fraud occurs. Okay, maybe that's it. Either way, it's also stupid. Zcash was my best performing crypto this year. Went from well below top 100 to 17 and 500% increase. Good for you, man. I like the shitcoins just to like gamble. You know, when I go to the casino, when we were in Kansas City, we went to the casino, we're in Deadwood, Vegas, like I'll go play some slot machines. I know it's sometimes throwing money away, but that's how I view shitcoins. It's like a slot machine. You're not going to win them all, but every now and then you're going to hit that bonus game. You're just going to reap the rewards of that. You know what I mean? But let's go back to this. We have no update on the presidential action website. Nothing new to talk about there. But we did get this. We got more Epstein files released yesterday, and some of these are pretty interesting. The Department of Justice has officially released nearly 30,000 more pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they had a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. Nevertheless, out of our commitment to the law and transparency, the DOJ is releasing these documents with the legally required protections for Epstein's victims. There was this included in it, a video of Jeffrey Epstein allegedly trying to kill himself. This was included in the file release. It's CGI, AI. It was produced by a YouTuber in 2020, submitted anonymously as a tip to authorities, which is why it's in the file. So anything anybody submitted as a tip got included in the release here. And this is the one that a lot of people are going ham about related to Trump. I'll read it. I think it's basically another Trump rape accusation. Fort Worth area. During blank time as a driver, he had met Donald Trump. Noted he picked the president up in 1995 and took him to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. He reported some of the things President Trump had spoken about during the ride while on his cell phone were very concerning. Redacted reported he was a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median and within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying. This caller chose not to. Redacted noted Trump continuously stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone and made references to abusing some girl. Redacted was unsure who he was talking to, nor who he was referencing. As Redacted talked about his time meeting Donald Trump, Redacted demeanor went stone cold as Redacted stated he raped me. Redacted said, what? As Redacted replied, Donald Trump had raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein. Redacted noted some girl with a funny name took me into a fancy hotel or building. That's how it happened. Redacted advised Redacted to call the police regarding the incident. As Redacted stated, I can't, they will kill me. On Christmas Day, Redacted contacted Redacted and stated, I wonder if they're related, all these redactions. Redacted. Stated she had in fact called the police about what they had talked about. Redacted told Redacted she had done good. Redacted did not hear from Redacted or Redacted until 1/10 of 2000. Redacted reached out to Redacted, stating Redacted was dead and noted she was found with her head blown off in Kiefer, Oklahoma. Officers on the scene and Redacted stated there was no way it was suicide. Coroner stated it was suicide. I think that's supposed to be coroner. Redacted later stated Redacted committed suicide because Redacted had gotten cocaine from a Mexican drug cartel. Redacted feels the murder is a cover for Ghislaine. So, and this is exactly why Trump called it a hoax. Like, you can't, we know this is totally fake and BS and AI, CGI, whatever, not a real suicide video of Jeffrey Epstein. But then everybody's like, oh my gosh, look at this accusation against Trump. It's stuff like this that was snuck in here, and why this is a hoax, just like the Russia collusion hoax. And no, I don't believe any of this, obviously, but this is why it's been weaponized. The Epstein narrative has been weaponized against Trump so that stuff like this can come out of it and can be used to delegitimize him. It's a psyop. And I've said this over and over, and my opinions on the Epstein files haven't changed, and they're not going to change. And how can we put any stock into any of the stuff that we're seeing coming out of these if we know there's fake stuff in here? This is why he called it a hoax. Just like Russia collusion was a hoax. And it's being used the same way. The Russia collusion was the intelligence community fabricating evidence and colluding with the media and other people on social media to push this narrative that Donald Trump colluded with Russia. And it was like the ultimate version of a wrap-up smear. They got the media reporting on it, which got them to further fabricate evidence, and the cycle continued until Robert Mueller found nothing. Then John Durham investigated them, and he also found nothing. So stupid. But that's what's being prosecuted right now, or looked into, the RICO case. We'll talk about John Brennan here in a second. He sent a letter confirming he's being targeted by a grand jury down in Florida. But that was an intelligence community fabrication weaponized against Trump. And I feel the Epstein situation, not trying to downplay that there weren't victims, because there were. These were some terrible people. But the reason the hype around the Epstein files was built to what it was so that it could be weaponized against Trump. And that is exactly what we're seeing here. Ash says, Media Matters and NPR will full write-ups on John not believing all redacteds tomorrow. Like, how am I supposed to believe any of this? How is anybody supposed to believe any of this? They literally showed us a video of Epstein killing himself, which we know is fake. We know there are fake things in the release of these files, which is why I think they put that out along with this. They knew there was other fake stuff in here. But yeah, I'll double down on my comments from before that NPR and New York Times or whoever said, like, I'm not on this rug. I have not believed that the Epstein files were going to be what everybody thought they were going to be from the beginning. And maybe it's just a byproduct of me waking up, later than most people. A lot of people who were like super into mega and social media and the Q drops or whatever, they've been following this Epstein stuff and waiting on the goods since like 2017 or 2018 or whenever. Mom of two, anyone can say what they want and are supposed to be believed. I don't go that route. Also, when was these words put out there and why did the woman come forward? I call BS. Yeah, that's the thing. And you make a great point. Anybody can say anything. Especially in legal stuff. Like, I'm literally in the process of being sued, right? The lawsuit against me. And the central claim in the suit is a total fabrication. But it's in a lawsuit now, right? So people will put stock into that and believe it. When it's never happened. The claim. It's ridiculous. The Epstein narrative is distracting from all the actual arrests and good things that are happening surrounding trafficking. 100%. Epstein files were never a Trump problem. Totally agree. As I keep saying, I'm still waiting on anybody, to find me one example where Trump has pushed the Epstein narrative himself and not responding to a question. If you're asked a question about something from a mainstream media journalist to get your response on record, That is not you pushing that narrative. That is the reporter, whoever asked the question, pushing that narrative. Trump never, out of nowhere, in all of his campaign stops, anyway, at least all of them that I've seen, where he's up there at the podium, at the mic, uninterrupted, unscripted most of the time, like he has his talking points, but he goes off script all the time. Did he ever once bring up the Epstein files? Yet people think that was one of his core promises to his campaign. It wasn't. It never was. When people asked him if he'd release him, like, yeah, sure, I'll release him. He played along, but he never pushed the narrative. And that's why I think we saw that video a couple months back where he's like so upset. Like, why are we still talking about the, like, what is going on? It's a hoax. Because it's a narrative that's been weaponized against him. And people in the MAGA movement are assisting that weaponization. Anyway, I use rugs for treadmill workouts now. How does that work? Lizzie Boston says, volume over persuasion regarding the ops. Unconvincing and are designed to overwhelm and confuse. The goal is to keep the plebs emotionally reactive. That's just it. They feed off your emotional attachment to these stories. And that's one of the things in the PSYOP guide that I've been going through. It's what they talk about. Like figuring out a target audience's, you know, what gets their jimmies rustling and how it can be weaponized against them. They don't, I was paraphrasing, they do not use the term Jimmy rustling. Ash says, the prison double denied me now to see Tina, and their explanation makes no sense. Double denied you? Well, that's not cool. Yeah. He did. He said he was going to release it and obliterate the deep state. Where did he say that? Like, if you can find me an example, a full context clip. Full context. Because I've seen people show me, like, see, here's him saying he's going to release the files. But if you rewind just 15 seconds into the actual video, it shows him being asked a question about it. Ash, yeah, denied. Then I pushed back and they denied again. I have been told that third time is a charm. So maybe you just need to go again. Ash. Wahlberg Forged. We need justice now for a lot of things. We just want justice, and they keep playing with that right desire. Wahlberg, are you the one that makes like those hammer heads? So I think I came across your Twitter profile, and I was like fascinated by the work you do. You should shoot me a DM. Those things are awesome. Anyway. Okay, here we go. We got a video.
Be back in the White House. Their reign is over. Their reign will be over. And they know it. And America will be a free nation once again. We're not a free nation right now. We don't have free press. We don't have free anything. In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today, I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not gonna let it happen. I will totally obliterate the deep state. I will fire. I will fire the unelected bureaucrats and shadow forces who have weaponized our justice system like it has never been weaponized before. Sick. These are sick people.
Very sick people.
I will put the people back in charge of this country again. The people will be back in charge of our country. The Biden administration is the most corrupt administration in American history. Hunter Biden.
Okay, that's great, but where's the Epstein thing? I'm talking about the Epstein thing, not about his retribution and obliterating the deep state. I still think that's coming. I just think the Epstein files are not necessarily part of that. So that's not the kind of clip I'm looking for. I could find 100 clips of that, of Trump saying he's going to obliterate the deep state. I mean, we're still waiting on it to happen, but I could find a bunch of clips like that. A couple True Social posts. Trump talks some shit about the failing New York Times. Failing New York Times and their lies are purposeful misrepresentations, is a serious threat to the national security of our nation. The radical left, unhinged behavior, writing fake articles and opinions in a never-ending way, must be dealt with and stopped. They are a true enemy of the people. Thank you for your attention in this matter. They are the enemy, and they do suck. But they did dub me the leading Q promoter, and for that, we thank you. Flint Westwood says Epstein is part of the deep state without question. That's great, but that's not my point. I'm talking about the narrative that has been weaponized against Donald Trump, which is the Epstein files saga. And if you can find a clip of Trump being the one to push that narrative, I will maybe change my opinion on the whole thing, but I haven't seen that yet. That's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking whether or not what's his name Epstein is part of the deep state. I'm asking for Trump pushing the Epstein narrative. Trump posts this: the tariffs are responsible for the great USA economic numbers just announced, and they will only get better. Also, no inflation and great national security. Pray for the U.S. Supreme Court. Pray for lots of things. But yeah, Supreme Court's included, I suppose. He had a call with the president of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. They discussed the importance of bringing peace to ongoing conflicts and increased trade and cooperation between nations. The relationship with both countries is spectacular. The United States will be hosting the G20 summit next year, and we will be extending invites to both of these leaders to join us as guests at this very important event, which will take place in Miami. G20 Miami. Sounds fun. Trump Kennedy Center honors is going to be broadcast tonight. They renamed it. I think there's a lawsuit fighting against this, though. Like, people are suing to not change the name to add Trump. But anyway, he is at the request of the board, of which he is the president of, and he is going to be hosting the event. Tell me what you think of my master of ceremony abilities. If really good, would you like me to leave the presidency in order to make hosting a full-time job? You know, see, I feel like this is comms to me, because I just emceed my first thing, and reviews were just off the charts, of course. It technically was my first time, because I host all our conferences, GARTs, but I barely call that hosting. I just go up there and introduce the panels, which is basically all I did at this other thing. Anyway, totally comms. As the leading Q promoter, I get to decide that. So that's what I'm doing. We will be honoring the true greats in the history of entertainment: Sylvester Stallone, Michael Crawford, Kiss, George Strait, and Gloria Gaynor. I don't even know who Gloria Gaynor is. Can't be that great. Great last name to make fun of, though. Gloria Gaynor. Oh, she sings I Will Survive. Gotcha. That's a great song. I get on board with that, I suppose. And these are the numbers. GDP, 4.3%, blowing past expectations. 60 of 61 Bloomberg economists got it wrong, but Trump and some other geniuses got it right. The success is due to the good government and tariffs. That is an oxymoron, good government. Consumer spending is strong. Net exports are way up. Imports and trade deficits are way down. And there is no inflation because of my tax bill, the great big beautiful bill, which, by the way, we just talked about yesterday. A lot of blue states aren't even implementing this tax bill quite yet. And tariffs investment are setting records. The Trump economic golden age is full steam ahead. You haven't seen anything yet. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. John doesn't know who anybody is. I've lived a very sheltered life, guys. There's a lot of people I don't know. John living under I don't know what that is. Is that a rock? Yeah. I feel like it's better not knowing who half these people are. It's not like somebody, like the Tang thing, right? Last week, when you guys told me what Tang was. After figuring out what Tang was, I do not feel like I've missed a single thing in my life not knowing what Tang was. Powski says, I like to ignore huge wins and only focus on things I can pick at that may not even be real. Yeah, that's a lot of people do that. Some people choose to only look at the wins. Some people choose to only look at the losses. I think you choose whatever you want to do. Nobody's going to include your address and I will pay you. Pay me for what? Oh, you're talking about somebody else. Here we go. We got the War Department partnering with XAI to deploy Grok across government systems. They've got to have every AI now. I thought they already did this one too, but apparently not. But pretty much every AI that I can think of has been integrated with the government in some form or fashion since Trump took office. Under the agreement, the frontier-grade capabilities of the Grok family of models will be integrated into GenAI.mil, the department's recently launched internal AI platform. The integration is expected to begin as early as 2026 and will allow roughly 3 million military and civilian personnel to use advanced AI tools in daily operations, including tasks involving sensitive but unclassified government information. Department officials said the tools will operate on secure systems and comply with existing security requirements, allowing personnel to safely use AI for routine administrative work without risking protocol violations. XAI said its technology is designed to support government functions at the federal, state, and local levels, along with mission-critical use cases tied to military operations. The War Department said Grok's ability to analyze real-time data will provide personnel with a decisive information advantage, including access to live information from X to improve global situational awareness. They're going to be using this for Psyops, InfoWar. They're going to be pulling information using Grok, because Grok is primarily, from Twitter. Like, that's where it gets a lot of its info. And they're going to use it in information war, narrative warfare, Psyops, for sure. XAI indicated the partnership could expand to classified workloads in the future, saying it plans to make government-optimized foundation models available through a long-term collaboration with the Department of War and other mission partners. So the largest DoD contractor, and Elon Musk, has now integrated his AI with the military, and the AI just so happens to be attached to the arguably one of the most powerful weapons used in narrative warfare. It's great stuff. Maybe they can use AI to help develop a secure communication app so they stop using Signal. That'd be cool. The Trump administration has warned the Smithsonian funding at risk. This headline doesn't make sense. It doesn't read right. Trump administration warns Smithsonian funding at risk over content review. Okay, that did sound better. The Trump administration is warning the Smithsonian Institution that federal funding could be withheld unless it submits additional documentation requested as part of a federal review of the museum content. In a letter sent Thursday to Smithsonian Secretary Lonnie Bunch, Domestic Policy Council Director Vince Haley, and Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vought said materials already provided fell far short of what was requested, with most items still outstanding. The review stems from an initiative launched earlier this summer examining exhibits and public programming across several Smithsonian museums. Administration officials say the effort is tied to President Trump's executive order directing federally supported museums to promote American exceptionalism, eliminate divisive or partisan narratives, and ensure exhibits reflect American ideals. Museums are instructed to revise content deemed ideologically driven. Get rid of that DEI woke bullshit. This is probably one of the more interesting, bigger stories. It's kind of just confirmation, really, because I think we all already knew this was a thing, but now it's confirmed, and it's confirmed by John Brennan's lawyers themselves. John Brennan's lawyers confirm he is a target of a Florida grand jury probe, and he asked the judge to intervene. A letter to Chief Judge in Miami is an extraordinary injection by Brennan's defense team and likely signals his lawyers fear an indictment is imminent. Former CIA Director John Brennan's lawyers have taken an extraordinary step of confirming their client is a target of a criminal grand jury investigation in Florida. They're asking the federal judge there to stop the proceedings on the grounds that the Justice Department is judge shopping. I feel like my pronunciation today is a little off. You guys seen that too? Or maybe it's just always off and I'm just noticing it myself now. Almost like talking with a lisp or something. The revelations came in a letter that defense lawyers Ken Weinstein and Natasha Harnwell Davis sent Monday to U.S. District Judge Cecilia M. Altanaga, a George W. Bush appointee, to the bench who supervises the Miami Federal District Court. They revealed they've been informed by U.S. Attorney Jason Redding Quinones in Miami that the grand jury is investigating Brennan's role in the 2016 to 2027 Russian collusion probe that has since been discredited, including a CIA assessment that Russian President Vladimir Putin tried to help Trump win the 2016 election. Whistleblower evidence released by DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, and CIA Director John Ratcliffe has called into question that assessment, revealing career intelligence experts disagreed with the conclusions made in the Rush report released to the public at the end of the Obama administration Evidence also showed that Brennan personally pressed to have a discredited document known as the Steele dossier included in the assessment, contrary to his testimony to Congress, prompting both Ratcliffe and Gabbard to refer Brennan for possible prosecution. And this is from the letter. We have been formally advised by prosecutors of the Office of the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida that Director Brennan is a target of a grand jury investigation. They're examining the circumstances, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the interesting part, too, probably the most interesting part anyway, is at the very end of this thing, they ask that it doesn't reach Judge Eileen Cannon. For all these reasons, we urge Your Honor to exercise your supervisory authority as Chief Judge to ensure the United States Attorney does not steer this matter to the Fort Pierce Division and to the courtroom of Judge Eileen Cannon. Why are they all scared of Eileen Cannon? What happened? The stream just ended? What happened? Am I frozen? I'm still streaming. What in the world? Something happened on Rumble. I don't know what happened. Just thought it was a Lispy Tuesday. What is going on? Let me try this again. Audio playback. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Rumble. So weird. You guys have to come over to YouTube. Let me get you the link. Oh. Hold for processing. Trying to get everybody the link to the video. So weird. Well, come on over to YouTube, everybody. I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is. Rumble gonna rumble sometimes. It happens. So I'm just gonna keep plugging away, and maybe I'll just upload this later. Anyway, like I said, the most interesting part of this is at the very end. Not only are we getting it confirmed that Brennan is being targeted by a grand jury, but also Eileen Cannon is who they're afraid of. She was the judge who oversaw multiple aspects of the Jack Smith stuff. This is good comps here. I do still have the rants that were sent in, so appreciate that. There's a story out here in the Telegraph saying that Rubio and Witkoff are locked in a power struggle over Ukraine. I think this is funny. It's emerged between two men Donald Trump is dispatched to end the war in Ukraine, according to reports. Marco Rubio, the U.S. Secretary of State, is understood to have become frustrated with Steve Witkoff, Mr. Trump's peace envoy, for attempting to cut him out of peace talks. In November, Mr. Witkoff, a former New York real estate developer turned high-level diplomat, traveled to Geneva earlier than scheduled to begin peace talks without Rubio. I think this is fake news. I don't know. I'm not going to keep reading it. I think it's fake news. So whatever. But they're going to try to disrupt and stonewall any of the peace efforts that Trump wants to put forth, right? They're going to try to derail that in any way possible. I had some links for the oh, interesting. New documents include 2021 Mar-a-Lago subpoena relating to Ghislaine Maxwell case. I guess that's not that interesting. I thought this was funny. There's a poll out there that America's allies say the U.S. creates more problems than it solves. And the allies, these aren't our true allies. They're our outgoing allies. Unreliable, creating more problems than solving them. A negative force on the world stage. This is how large shares of America's closest allies view the U.S. according to new polling. Pluralities in Germany and France, and a majority of Canadians say the U.S. is a negative force globally, according to political polling. The views are more mixed in the UK, but more than a third of respondents there shared that dim assessment. So this is on the heels of the national security strategy coming out, the one where Trump totally like said F you to NATO and all these countries, and we don't even know if NATO is going to be a thing. The UK is going to be a thing anymore. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, or with Rumble. But it comes on the heels of that. The reaction to that was crazy. So obviously they're going to go poll. I'm like, hey guys, now that Trump put out his national security strategy and basically called you guys enemies, future enemies, how do you feel about the United States globally? And of course they shit all over him. Anyway, let's keep going here. It's kind of good that I got cut out because I don't have a whole bunch left that I wanted to talk about. Oh, did you guys see this? Trump's policy appeal with urban Americans has a surprising new messenger in Nicki Minaj. How retarded. Over the weekend, rap superstar Nicki Minaj took the stage at TPUSA's AmFest in Phoenix to tell a large crowd about her journey to publicly supporting many of the policies of President Donald Trump. They're trying to make her the face of the movement, guys. I hope you're ready for it. Hope you all know how to twerk. I'm going to have to learn. Somebody's going to have to teach me. But I'll try to figure it out. Ooh, this is a crazy one. Check this out.
Well, this holiday season, you and your neighbor could be shopping for the exact same item and pay different prices. CBS News correspondent Evan Moon explains what surveillance pricing is and how your personal data plays a role.
You may be shopping for gifts from the comfort of your couch, but stores can still see who you are.
Most of these companies are charging you a different price based on some data they have about you. It could be your location, could be your proximity to the store, it could be your shopping history, knowing that you bought a product previously and are willing to pay for it again.
It's a practice most people aren't aware of. Do you know what surveillance pricing is?
No,
never heard of it. What is it?
Consumer watchdog president Jamie Court says surveillance pricing is nearly impossible to avoid.
You know, you can try to limit how much information they have about you, but the genie's out of the bottle, unfortunately.
Court says his organization has evidence all the major retailers use personal algorithms to nudge a price up or down, targeting data from your Amazon cart, Uber rides, or even the brand of laptop you're using to shop.
No, it wouldn't surprise me, but I would probably monitor pricing on a general basis more frequently.
And for those traveling for the holidays,
Airlines will charge you a different price depending upon how many times you go to the website.
he says using a private browsing mode is one strategy.
Used to
Do you guys understand what they're saying here? Surveillance pricing? Like these companies, whether it's airlines or even retailers or whatever, online retailers, they will change the price that you get or have to pay for an item based on what they know about you. Like maybe if you fly a lot, they'll increase your prices because they know you can afford it or something. Or maybe if you're really looking to get a certain piano or something for your kids, they'll increase the price on it. Like this has got to be illegal, in my opinion. Because if the price for an item is different from me to you to anybody else based on information they gather from you online, like if there's ever an opportunity for a class action lawsuit, this is it. This is insanity. Airbnb does that. If you keep looking, it goes down. Contractors doing that for years. I mean, this happens, I'm sure, in a ton of different areas. Price gouging, yeah. Prices often also change how often you load the browser without buying a ticket. Yep. You're lucky we don't do that with our guard prices. It's crazy. Crazy. And then with that, I think, guys, I got them all. I got all the headlines I wanted to go through. So I do got a couple of rants here. And again, apologies for Rumble. I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is. Bear BLs for $50. Thank you so much for that. It says, Merry Christmas, John and Badlands. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Emerald Dragon 1333. Word of advice for any lawsuit: any presumption they make against you that you do not rebut or rebut becomes fact in the case. You must rebut everything. Yeah, I got good attorneys, and I'm not worried about that. Plus, I have proof like proving the claims wrong. So just a matter of whether or not we can get it dismissed early or have to go through the whole process. We'll see what happens. Keith Higgins, the Badlands Media Shop needs to offer an all-black redacted rug for Kwanzaa. It's a great idea. I like that idea. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Rumble, but I'll text the tech support guys over there. But appreciate those who tuned in. Hit that thumbs up anyway. And yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. I will be doing my show tomorrow. I probably won't do it on Christmas Day, though. But then I'll be back Friday. But I'll let you know for sure tomorrow. But if you haven't yet, get yourself some soft disclosure. There's no better time than right now to get yourself soft disclosure because it's the best products ever. And you don't want to wait for the best skincare products around. You don't want to wait for that. Make a great Christmas gift, belated Christmas gift, New Year gift. We can normalize that. But check it out, softdisclosure.com. The beard oil is fantastic. It's all fantastic. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Soft Disclosure just dropped new favorites for the season. The lotion, your 5-ounce favorite, is still here. And now we've added full 11-ounce bottles. New Lavender Tea Tree Deodorant, clean, calm, and effective. New tallow bars, chamomile lemon rose and naked. Rich moisture that actually works. And now the lineup is complete. Beard oil in unscented and spiced vanilla. Palo lip balms, available in chamomile mint, vanilla, naked, and vanilla tangerine. Palo bar minis for pocket-ready hydration. Available in vanilla coffee and naked. And finally, lavender vanilla lotion. Clean, calm, and made to work. Visit softdisclosure.com. Use code Badlands and get 15% off. Soft Disclosure, for truth you can gift.
Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why stop me? Stop me.